To get the best result, it's all about ambition, hard work, and doing the right things right. In 1982, two Dutch brothers invented an automatic way to time RC races. The system of the company, called AMB-IT, was quickly adopted by pro racing series like NASCAR and IndyCar. Automated timing for mass participation sport events was also invented in the Netherlands by Champion Chip in the early 90s, giving athletes a personal chip time of their performance. In 2008, the two companies joined forces and MYLAPS Sports Timing was born. We never stop innovating with state-of-the-art timing systems and digital services to enhance the event experience. With our X2 platform, we bring motorsports timing to a whole new level with two-way communication. Our event app and photo video create the ultimate event experience for athletes and fans with live data and personal content like photos and videos. SpeedHive provides a pro-level racing experience for amateur and club events by analyzing personal data. We capture performances of over 20 million racers and athletes every year and use live data to spark emotions. MYLAPS. Experience progress.
The MYLAPS Indy Elite Series has raced all over the country, and now we head into race number 8 of the season here at Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Raceway. Welcome to SimTV. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Finney and Dakuna at a short track again for another time this season. And Finney, and these tracks always put on a very different show than the bigger speedways. A little bit fun and also a little bit treacherous.
Yeah, and a little bit fast. I should say a lot of it fast. These guys are going around here at under 15 seconds a lap. It's going to be a really quick race, really fast race for these guys, and again, they're really going through these corners extremely fast, and it's going to be very interesting as they try to handle that speed.
Qualifying underway right now as we head down to the racetrack, and a couple new drivers tonight. Robert Hill Jr. in the number 38 car, a new entry this evening, and this race is sponsored by Triptacular Memories, and Triptacular Memories is owned and operated by sim racer Joe Branch. You can book your next Disney vacation or cruise with them today. Finney, and we got a couple repeat winners of this race in the past, Andrew Wood and Tim Doyle, that are in this event here this evening. Your thoughts, your expectations on what will be, frankly, a very fast 160-lap race tonight?
Yeah, I don't know if we're necessarily going to see those guys at the front. They've been struggling quite a bit this season. Tim Doyle's only top 10 finish has been a third at Gateway for Wood. It's been only 15th is his best finish at Michigan. So it's been a struggle for those two drivers this season. Hopefully they can try to rest on their prior success to get them up there. But see Joshua Chin close to the wall, getting as much of the car as he can.
Yeah, you really got to sling this car around here. Again, almost under, actually, a lot of the field under 15-second laps around here. That's like stock cars at Bristol. Laps happen extremely fast and not a whole lot of room for error. If you make a mistake, as we see Joshua Chin go for a loop, it happens very fast.
And that's the thing. If you can go back to the blimp shot, I want to point this out. We were talking about it before we went live. You can actually notice these guys. You can see the line on the back straight, and even the front straight actually comes down across the finish line. That's because a lot of these guys have been spinning out in practice. So it's made it.
Yeah, so
left rubber on the track.
We're looking at the dark line on the right-hand side of your screen towards the bottom right-hand corner. That darkened line of rubber off the corner heads down towards the inside wall because so many people have been struggling with slipping and sliding on corner exit. Here's one of our past winners, Tim Doyle in the number 11, as he gears up for his qualifying effort. Working his way around, a winner in the past as he comes across the start-finish line, put a first time down of 14.997, good enough to jump him up into 9th.
He's actually doing really well. There you can see him get a little bit loose, going to try to save it. We'll save it, but that'll ruin his lap time. At least he got up into 9th place.
Yeah, he might bail out on that because that's not going to really get him a whole lot better. So qualifying, 5 minutes left here. A couple more drivers. Dan Ench in the 52, one of the Spark VR machines rolling out on the racetrack right now. And Dan Ench has had kind of a hit-or-miss season. Think back a couple weeks ago to Mid-Ohio. That was a miserable race for him. Ran pretty well in the middle of the Michigan race. Didn't really get the finish he deserved there. But this whole Spark VR team, remember at Michigan last week, at one point they had 4 drivers holding the top 4 spots, and they've been extremely dominant at points during specific races, especially on the larger ovals, where you can kind of control your own destiny a little bit more if you've got more teammates. As Dan Ench comes across the line, 15.4 will not improve from a 24th place position. We had 34 drivers enter the session. Only 33 can make the race, so one of them is going to be going home. So qualifying is still underway, but most drivers have made a lap. There's still a couple at the bottom of the order that have not yet put a time in.
Yeah, and I believe from what we saw earlier, it looked like Brandon Tross was not in the server, so the 33 that are there will be able to race.
Take a look at our track conditions for this race here tonight. Again, a night race. The lights will come on a little bit later, but 80 degrees in the air, 83 on the racetrack. It should be relatively grippy, but again, an open setup series. Everyone's going to be building their set to be extremely fast, and for a track like this, it means a lot of downforce, but that's not necessarily going to help you on corner exit. You're spinning the tires, 500, 600 horsepower in these cars, a lot of power to try to maintain.
Yeah, and so honestly, more important than the setups would be to really just get the track position. I think that's going to be the name of the game tonight. It's going to be extremely hard to pass around here with the speeds these guys are going at. It's going to be, for the most part, one single lane at the bottom of the track. So getting into the front position and staying there is going to be, I think, key for a lot of these drivers that want to win.
Absolutely. So 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in qualifying. Again, my name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Finney and DeCuna tonight. Lots of racing on Sim TV this week. Right after this, the conclusion of the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Yinzer Graphics Unreal Tour enters their last race of the season at Homestead Miami Speedway with the NASCAR trucks. So that'll be a 117-lap race at the Homestead Oval. Then tomorrow night, the Race Kings Cup Series for the 3-Wide Racing League does the same. Another Homestead race, 133 laps to conclude that season. Then Tuesday, the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series enters their playoffs, the Fuel Finals at Indianapolis, right after the Elite Modified Tour takes on Stafford. Grid Life, their Grid Life UK tour is going to continue next week as Eric Teal, the administrator for that series, is off at SEMA this week with his show car. We wish him the best and all the Grid Life crew for Grid Life Game Night at SEMA in Las Vegas this week. So very exciting things going on right now this week. But the Triptacular Memories 160 about to get underway here. 160 laps. You said it, Finian. 14.8s, 14.9s. Very quick lap times. The chance for carnage and cautions, though, also pretty high.
Yeah, and again, I think those grooves we saw going off into the wall or off the track, I think it's kind of an indication. It's really going to be a lot of these guys struggling with coming off the corners loose. And again, remember, open setups. These guys can make these cars as loose or as tight as they want. And obviously, I think the loose setup with less downforce is going to make you faster, but you're going to risk getting the car loose off the corner, especially if you're not accounting for it.
So no one else has come out on the racetrack here, Finney, and so really it's going to come down to whoever is really, I don't actually know how it orders it if you don't qualify. Who gets booted?
I think it's going to be Brandon Tross, who's not in the server, unless he has shown up. I don't think he has. Wasn't in practice, so I think he'll be the one that won't be up tonight. I think that's why drivers are not qualifying. So we'll see how it'll turn out, but it should be Tross that's the one going home.
So again, we mentioned the track conditions tonight. Everything says this should not be a treacherous race, but these short ovals for this IndyCar package, the lower downforce package that IndyCar has decided to go with on this Dallara IR18 has made these an immense challenge. You still get a little bit of dirty air off the car in front of you, but you don't have quite as much downforce to lean on. So there's a lot more braking, a lot more upsetting the balance of the car to get it to rotate. So mid-race adjustments, what are you going to be doing to this car, and will you be doing a whole lot this evening? The conditions should be pretty static.
I think really a lot of you guys might be playing around with the weight jacker quite a bit. I think that's one of the best tools to work with as far as, changing the weight distribution of the car, making the car essentially tighter or looser depending on the conditions that you're facing. So you guys are going to be playing around with that tonight, especially once they're in some dirty air, and get a reduction downforce, try to adjust the car as they go out there on their own.
So 50 seconds left, and no one else is going to bother to put a lap in. And maybe there's some drivers down towards the bottom of the grid. Ray Kingsbury, Matt Kingsbury, David Adams, maybe just not qualifying. Do they want to stay out of the fray, stay behind all the carnage, and then climb up through the field later?
Yeah,
or is this another kind of strategy call?
I feel like that's probably their thinking again. Only problem is that you run the risk of being stuck back there all the way down in the order, qualifying so far down the field. Again, we have pretty much a full grid, 33 cars here tonight. That's a lot of traffic to work through.
Yeah, Jonathan Goke in one of the Spark VR cars, the number 08. Highest and lowest, nowhere, because he hasn't set a lap, and he's just sitting there on pit lane. I don't think he's going to bother to make a lap, because I assume everyone feels safe with Tross not in and not in the entry list. Ray Kingsbury rolling out right now, but it's going to be a little bit too late, and he knows that just to kind of get that car fired up. And another Spark VR machine noses into the wall. That's to replace the front wing before we go rolling tonight.
I was going to say, did a little bit more than fire it up, damage the car. Yeah. Got to get that fixed.
All right, qualifying complete. At the top of the board, Joe Flanagan, the number 53, shares the front row with Adam Blocker. Let's head down to the racetrack. The Triptacular Memories 160 at Richmond Raceway, about to get underway. You said earlier, Finney, this race would be extremely fast without caution laps. Right now, the race estimation, 39 minutes if it goes green from start to finish. That's extremely short. This is a sprint race, but it might get slowed down by a couple of yellows here and there.
Yeah, and I think we expected. I think the drivers are going to expect a few yellows here and there. To go green all the way is going to be a very, very tall task. And again, props to these guys. I think if anyone could do it, I think they got a good shot at doing it. But it's going to be taller to go all the way to the end with 33 guys on one single car.
Yeah, so Robert Hill Jr., I don't know if we're supposed to be seeing a paint scheme on this car. It's got carbon fiber on it, but I know that he's got a new team and sponsor. I believe it's the Spark VR cars. And he should be carrying that, I think, I haven't gotten an official announcement from anything or anybody yet, but I think Spark VR is going to be on his truck later tonight for the Graphics Unreal Tour finale. But just bare carbon fiber on that car this evening. But up towards the front, it was the 53 of Flanagan that won the pole. And bright orange and red, or excuse me, orange and blue car on the front row alongside Adam Blocker. We'll roll through our starting lineup on the grid here tonight. On the front row, Joe Flanagan from the Carolinas on the front row in his number 53, alongside Adam Blocker, another Carolinian, on the outside of the front row.
Yeah, Adam Blocker, the points leader at the moment, and the guy, and then we go back into third place. We got Jeff Drake in the 92 from Michigan on the inside. Outside of him, Chris Stover in the 13 from Indiana.
Christopher's had some good runs. Let's see if he can do any better tonight. Riley Thompson in the 58 car starts in 5th, right alongside Andreas Eich from Scandinavia on his number 76 IR18.
Moving on back to 7th, Joe Branch in the 28 from Indiana will be starting on the inside of him. Outside of him will be the 22, Simon Bryant in 8th.
9th place, past winner of this race, Tim Doyle in the number 11, alongside Andrew Kinsella in the number 14. Both these drivers capable of winning this event tonight. We'll see if which one of them gets the better of the finishes.
And we got Bradley Walters in the 56 from Indiana on the inside in 11th. Outside of him in 12th, Andrew Wood, defending winner of this race in the 32.
Logan Simmons in the 75 from the Mid-South, 13th on the inside of row number 7 to his outside. Brendan Lichtenberg, a multi-time winner this year, also won a Gateway. Short ovals are his thing. I expect him to be good here tonight.
And back in 15, you got Henry Bennett, currently 2nd in the points in the 007. Outside of him, Chad Simpson in the 42 will be starting in 16th.
Let the rest of those scroll along the bottom of the screen as we get rolling for a couple pace laps here tonight. And the cloudy conditions, the grip level should be high, but we've seen a lot of drivers struggle this evening with grip into and out of the corners. So field rolling through, getting their tires and engines warmed up for 160 laps of action. The Triptacular Memories 160 again, owned and operated by sim racer Joe Branch, who's in the field here tonight. And of course, Triptacular Memories essentially setting up your Disney vacation. So if you got children you're looking to head off to Disney, this is a good time to do it. In the winter, head down to really anywhere but here, anywhere but Binghamton, New York. Disney vacation or cruise. That sounds really good now.
Get away from the cold, because I have a feeling this winter is going to be really cold. It's already been cold in November.
Look, I don't care about the snow. If it snowed and it was 85 degrees, I wouldn't care. It's the cold. It's miserable. All right, lights are on in the pace car. 1 to green here. 160 laps on tap for tonight. A couple Spark VR cars starting towards the rear of the field. Matt Kingsbury, one of them running on board. You see, there's a lot of cars in front of him. This is a dangerous place to be. Be careful. Be patient. It's a quick race, but don't throw your stuff away early.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be name in the game here as we go on the back straightaway, getting ready to go here for 160 laps. Let's get going. Full field, 33 cars.
Yep, and Brandon Tross was the one that was unable to get in and get a qualifying lap, so he will not start this race tonight. 160 laps, a Triptacular Memories 160, green and racing at Richmond. Clean start for Joe Flanagan in the 53. Adam Blocker slides into second. Jeff Drake trying to get past Christopher in that 13, but he rockets around the outside, takes third place away. Bit of a brake lock up down into turn 1.
Yeah, and again, these guys are carrying so much speed, they have to get slowed down the braking lot in for these corners, at least letting off. They go from 170 only to 160, so not a lot of difference into these corners for some of them. Definitely probably have to brake more on the front straightaway.
The cameras are whipping around here. These cars are so fast. Tim Doyle, again, we mentioned him as a past winner of this race, sitting 10th right now. Joe Branch in the MYLAPS sponsored car sitting 9th right now in his number 28 as he tries to claw his way forward. A couple drivers kind of midfield we would have expected to qualify a bit better. How about Chad Simpson in the 42? Started kind of midfield here and sitting 15th right now. This is going to be a very fast-paced race. Joshua Chin in the 93, popping out of line behind him. Jonathan Goke in the 08. Remember, didn't lay down a qualifying lap, trying to claw his way forward. That's the 41. Actually, that's the 08 there. Then behind him is Niall McBride in the 41 car, that green, blue, and white car.
Yeah, for the most part, it looks like we're off and clean out of the way. It doesn't look like there are any incidents, but guys are trying to get themselves sorted out in line. Here's Tim Doyle in 11th after starting in 9th, I believe.
A bit of a smoky turn 1. I think a lot of people locking up the brakes and maybe using more brake than you would expect here just to get the car rotated. And again, open setup series, so playing with the weight jacker, playing with wing settings in practice and qualifying, trying to find the best way. But look at Adam Blocker rolling up on the back of Flanagan.
Yeah, he's going to build up a run here. It's going to be hard to get past the car in the lead here. He's going to be dealing with a lot of aero wash, especially in these corners. You see him running a little bit higher than Joe Flanagan.
That's one thing we didn't really talk about. What line do you think is going to be the preferred one here? I thought just the bottom of the racetrack, but maybe the outside lane might be a place where you can carry some more speed.
Yeah, I think the outside would be a little bit better. You can roll the corner a lot more. But I think some of these guys, especially if you want to make a pass, you're going to be wanting to eye a later exit, getting a run on the straightaways. You're looking at Joe Branch and also the 22 Simon Bryant battling for position.
Yeah, Bryant's going to hold on to it for now. Branch trying to grab a couple spots. Lichtenberg slow on the front straightaway. And one of the broken arrow cars on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, this is not good for him. He's third in the points. That's going to lose him a lot of spots.
Now let's go back and see what happened here. This is out of turn number 4. That was, I believe, the 56 car.
And he just
got loose. We've seen that happen a lot. I don't think we're done seeing it just yet. And he recovers back in 30th place.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, he's way down the order. Is running much better up and around.
Simon Bryant in the 22, spun around on the front straightaway, one of the Sadie machines. We stay green, but I'm going to guess a very similar situation as we have a pass to the lead and Blocker has gotten around Flanagan. So frantic moments, everything's happening so fast. It's like trying to watch a hockey game with the puck going everywhere.
It is extremely fast around here. Obviously, as you can tell, the way these guys are going 170 miles an hour into the corners, 150, 160 through them.
And here's John Downing, his on board. And 15-second laps. Looks a lot calmer from on board the car than it does on the side of the racetrack. You see up the road, that purple car on the inside, that's Joshua Chin trying to get by Chad Simpson in the 42. And there goes Liam Quinn to the bottom of the racetrack trying to get a spot from Downing. This is for 17th.
Yeah, and Downing trying to take advantage of the outside of the corner. Going to pinch Liam Quinn on down, get the roll off the corner.
And Jonathan Goke popping out of line, Smart VR car, to the inside of Niall McBride right behind him.
Slow and steady's going to win this race. Ray Kingsbury, speaking of which, is up in at 20th. We saw him start further down the order, so he's made some decent progress up the front.
Up 11 spots. This is a great showing for him so far. And speaking of showing, Tony Schauwen in the 31 started 30th up to 22nd. So a couple cars clawing their way forward very quickly here early. Glenn Lazier in the number 4 started 34th up to 23rd in his Spark VR machine.
Yeah, looking to the outside of Schauwen, he's going to throw up a little bit of a block. Ford now going to go to the inside. Looks like 31's going to give it to him.
Pass complete. Passing all over this racetrack right now. It's been a pretty competitive race, but Blocker in the 74 already getting into some lap traffic. Look how fast that happened.
Yeah, and again, you're putting 33 Indy cars around here. It's not a normal field. That's an Indy 500 field size at a very short track. If you actually go to the blimp static game, you just kind of see how evenly distributed it is. There's cars all over the place.
That's not going to be a whole lot of fun for Adam Blocker. Again, we see this a lot at Bristol in the NASCAR side of things. You can be leading the race and be totally in harm's way with cars spinning and crashing. So for Blocker, he's going to have to be a little bit careful negotiating some lap traffic. Joe Flanagan gets to sit back and watch him negotiate back here, maybe in a little bit of a safer spot. Jonathan Goke on the inside of the 40 of John Downing, who's like he's been sliding backwards a little bit. Started 20th. He's currently 19th, but he was a little farther forward and is now losing some spots to a pair of Spark VR cars in the 44 of Liam Quinn. right behind. That's
Flynn making a move on Niall McBride. I'll have a look at the inside. This 4 car has been making quite a bit of forward progress.
Yeah, Flynn Lazier. Bottom of the racetrack. Trying to find grip down there, and the track's going to get extremely rubbered in with this many cars running this many laps. The rubber is going to build up, maybe some marbles in the outside grooves, so that's something we have to keep an eye on as well, is how much will this track change over the course of the race. I don't think the temperature will change all that much, but certainly the rubber will. And some more smoke. I think we might have seen another car spin around, but Dan Edge has gone a lap down in his number 52.
We got 32 of the 33 guys that started this race. Nile Anders, he pulled up very early on.
Yeah, and of course, Robert Hill Jr. in the 38. He's got a caution. David Adams in the 88 on the back straightaway. That's big damage to the nose of his IR-18.
Yep, and first caution of the night.
Lap number 23. And things are happening so quickly, and David Adams caught out. He had bad luck last week, got caught up, or a couple weeks ago, got caught up in a collision at Michigan later in the race.
And he's going to be really typical off the corner loose.
All by himself, just throttle up and gonna hit the concrete here and tear the nose off that car. Might be able to get it repaired.
Yeah, I think you should be able to. If anything, you could throw another nose back on.
And just so quickly, and once it starts getting loose, there's really not a whole lot you can do. And what you don't want to do is correct it back to the right. You'll end up right in harm's way of the traffic.
Well, they did a good job, really, as far as hitting it. Obviously, once you know you're gonna hit, try to hit the part that you can at least replace. So you'll just have to throw another nose back on there. It should be good. Is a lap down, however.
And started in 32nd. That's where he resides right now. Niles Anders in the 98 qualified for this race, but did not start it, so he is off the racetrack right now. So looks like we did have a couple drivers come down to pit lane. Andrew Kinsella is one of them.
Yeah, I think nearly everyone did come down onto pit road. You see, it's a very, very busy place.
Extremely busy place at the moment as the field rolls off. Adam Blocker will easily have the lead here. Flanagan second, Stouffer third, Riley Thompson up to fourth. And the time is close for Riley Thompson to win something somewhere. He's just too good to not have a victory either in the fuel side of things in the Indy car or the stock car or in this series. I mean, this TDR team is constantly in contention for top 5s, top 10s. He just has not had the luck go his way yet for a race victory.
Yeah, well, it could happen to him tonight. Currently running in fourth, a great position for him to do something.
Yeah, currently riding in fourth. That's the highest he's been so far as he comes across the start-finish line, and he started in 5th spot. So he's been inside the top 5 tonight. Now the key is just to hang on to that. Adam Blocker, though, this Adrenaline Motorsports team, they've been really good this season, and teammates as a whole, really, it's been this team versus the Spark VR team in terms of competing for race victories, but I think it seems like Spark VR has been a little bit less consistent in getting those race finishes, which is really key to getting those points.
Yeah, currently, Adrenaline Motorsports, they're running 1, 2, and 5th in the championship. And the highest running Spark VR car is Ray Kingsbury in 4th in the championship.
And Ray Kingsbury right now, if we look down the order, he is currently scored in 20th place in his number 25. And he started in 31st, so starting at the back tonight, just slowly working their way forward. I like the pace. I like taking it easy. Last time out at Michigan, they weren't taking it easy. They were up front controlling the race. I would have thought maybe qualify up front, and this would be an easier race to control than Michigan for me. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't qualify, but that was their decision. And now they just got to work their way through the field. But so far, so good. Up 11 spots in the first 27 laps. The pace has slowed only once so far tonight, and again, we said earlier this would be an extreme challenge to run clean and green the whole time, and again, we have our first caution lap number 24, but these laps tick off so quickly that once these guys get going green, it's just going to go.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, they've done a really good job so far. I think as good as you could expect them to do, considering how many guys are out here is fairly green. And clean for the most part, just guys getting loose, and again, obviously with the setup and track conditions, one of these times you come out the corner, it's going to get loose, and these things are really hard to save.
Yeah, it's Robert Hill Jr. in the number 38, his first start in this series, and he'll be one of the competitors in the Yenzer Graphics Unreal Tour race here in just over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's doing double duty tonight.
So 1 to green here. Adam Blocker is going to have the restart. Now, restarts were a topic of discussion after Michigan. We saw a lot of guys trying to game the restarts, and they were essentially told, stop doing that. So I think what we're going to see is fewer drivers kind of popping out of line. They're going to kind of maintain that outside groove as Adam Blocker fires off, green flag back in the air.
Yeah, taking really good advantage of the fact that you can accelerate in the corner. Everyone else is still struggling to get through and then separate out the field quite a bit.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of separation here, which is going to be a good thing for getting more green flag runs in. But Joe Flanagan under attack from Chris Stouffer in that 13.
And so we're starting to build up a run here. See if he can get on by.
And this is the Triptacular Memories 160. It's only 115 miles this race. And so far, we've done about 20 of them.
Yeah. Actually coming up on a quarter way through this race, so laps ticking off very quickly here tonight. Seeing if now Joe Flanagan can pretty much do the same thing what he did to Blocker and try to chase him back down. But looking on with Logan Simmons in the 75 chasing down Andreas Ike, you see Mullane up in the corner.
Yeah, Simmons has been a driver that's improved quite a bit since the beginning of the season. Had a couple crashes early, a couple DNFs. Lately, especially at Michigan and at ISM Raceway, he's had some really good runs, starting to improve this 75 and get it inside the top 10 as a regular contender. So, A+ to the 75 cars. We got drama. Bradley Walters in the 56 crashed out on the back straightaway, and the 56 car again, with bad luck, another Sadie car. And I think also Liam Quinn in the 44, big damage to his car on the right front. I wouldn't be surprised if these two got together, and it appears they have. I think it started with the 56 of Walters getting loose here as a replay.
Yeah, he actually already had some front wing damage, major front wing damage to the right side of his car. Hit the wall, came in front of Liam Quinn as he's coming out the corner.
Reminds me a lot of the 2017 Scott Dixon Indy 500 crash, car bouncing off the fence. But back up line, Blocker continues to lead. Some lap traffic, that's the 52 of Dan Ench, and looks like Blocker will go right on by.
Yeah, just going to let him on by. No fight for position there.
So the field spreading out quite nicely. Andrew Kinsella trying to chase down Riley Thompson. That would be for fourth. People are going to be dizzy by the end of this race.
Yeah.
Robert Hill Jr. In the 38 again going a lap down. Didn't see exactly what happened to him to put him back a lap down.
I
he
think
just got a free pass and now has to slide all the way back.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that the field, tail end of the field at least, started so far behind and going single file.
This is going to be dicey with the car on the inside lane as Simmons swings around it, and that was...
Oh! Simmons sideways off on the front straightaway. He's going to keep it in the grass below the yellow line. That's come back up. I think we're going to see caution. Yep, caution out.
Yeah, so Simmons slides out of turn 4, brings out our second caution of the night. And for Simmons, that was a dramatic corner. I'm surprised it didn't happen in turn 4 with that slow Sadie car on the bottom. I didn't see who that was, but it certainly might have spooked the 75 and gotten him off kilter here. There's a look. And just came off the corner, throttle up, and follows that rubbered in groove right down into the grass and slides back up. And triggered the yellow. Second caution of the night on lap number 39, and Blocker leads the way.
Okay, so I want to do... actually, these guys are going to come down to pits. After they complete their pit cycle, I want to do a little thing, but we'll see when they come on down here.
Do a little thing. Adam Blocker, will he roll in? He's not going to come to pit lane. A couple other drivers will, starting with third place Chris Stouffer. So most of the field will come, but the two front drivers will stay out. And a bit of a split strategy is Tim Doyle is going to stay out on the racetrack in his number 11, bring Bennett and a couple others with him.
And this is what I'm talking about here. You know, if you haven't run that many laps, they ran an okay amount of laps, I guess, there. And you can argue. Honestly, I would just like to stay out. The track position is going to be worth so much, especially when you consider the fact that these guys are getting single file restarts. And you're going to be way in the back. So if you're in 20th or something, you might as well stay out. And you might get passed by a few drivers here and there, but if another caution comes out, you get a chance to come back down on pit road.
Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Spark VR cars.
Yeah.
And there was another one on the racetrack. They have over a sixth of the field. Actually, a fifth of the field.
I was going to say, they're
more than a fifth of the field. Almost a quarter of the field.
Quarter of the field, almost, yeah.
Oh, man. Quarter of 33 is what?
Well, quarter 32 is how much?
8.
So, yeah, almost quarter.
Is that right? Yeah. Oh, boy. All right, well, 41 laps into the race. And Adam Blocker stays out under this yellow. I'm curious to see how much that's going to matter. I'm with you. I think the track position's key. I'm not sure the tires will make a huge difference. Yeah. It's so tricky to pass anyway. I'm not on board with pitting now.
And I say that from experience because I actually want to fix IndyCar race at Richmond doing this exact thing. You know, there's a few cautions out here and there. I was running in second and third, and I had some decent pace in my pace under me. But the problem was I couldn't get past the leader no matter what I did. I tried taking different lines in the corner, whatever. I couldn't get past him. So we got a late race caution. And I was like, we're not gonna really have that many laps to get up to speed or anything where the tires are gonna matter. So I was like, I'll just stay out, not pit. Everyone else came down pit road. I stayed out, and I won the race on older tires. So really, if you can just stay out there, I think it's gonna be worth a lot more.
Brendan Lichtenberg, remember he had an issue early, was slow on the back straightaway. He's actually sitting 6th right now, so these early cautions have been a blessing for him.
Yeah, so okay, so let's keep track of where the pace car is right now on the track. Pace car is coming out of 2. Now I want to go all the way to the back of the field.
Back to David. No, actually, let's go back to Dakota DCN. So
yeah,
he's on the front straightaway.
So these guys have not even gotten through turns 1. You can see that they're quite a bit ways behind.
It's about a half a lap worth of distance. Yeah. Pace car's the bottom left of your screen. The tail end of the field is at the very top of your screen. So they encompass over a half a lap.
So around here is where the leader is going to start to go, and you can see the last car in line still coming out of turn 2.
Now that's a unique thing to IndyCar because most series, at least stock car series, run double file restarts, so it bunches the field back up as if it were the initial start. Well, IndyCar runs single file restarts, which means that you're essentially got double the length of cars lining up. And so that, and also, not to mention, they're around the outside of the racetrack, which is the longer way around. So we got the 1 to green here, and actually, let's just watch this and see where that last car is by the time leader Adam Blocker gets the restart.
I can see all the Spark Beer cars on the line.
I know.
They're coming at it
all
too.
All the white liveries here. You can see them. Here they come.
There they
Freight train of Spark VR machines.
Oh, that looks awesome, though.
It sure does. Team paint's looking good. All right, so pace car's off. You see the last car is at the exit of turn 2, and the leader is just picking up the restart right now. So half a lap advantage for Blocker on the last car. Green flag back in the air.
He gets a good start, get leader really good, really in an advantageous position for these starts. You see him already building the lead over Flanagan.
Bobble out of turn 2 for the 13 of Chris Stouffer. He's got Andrew Kinsella attacking him and Lichtenberg rolling the outside lane. Haven't seen that be successful so far, but he's trying.
Yeah, Stouffer, one of the first guys to come down onto pit road, so we'll see how this works.
Whoa,
they have an advantage.
Man.
Whoa, as Lichtenberg almost gets turned around by Jeff Drake. That was really close there.
Yeah, playing with inches there does Jeff Drake, and he's not done fighting yet. You see a battle up the road. That's Tony Shaw in that red car. He's got, I think that's Stouffer on the inside. Caution out behind him. John Downing in the 40. Sadie is just having an awful day.
Yeah, it's been really, really rough.
Yeah, this has just not been Sadie Sim Autosports day. And he's going to go easily a lap down, maybe even more, because he's stuck here. Can't turn the car back around with all those cars coming.
Yeah, this is a really bad position on the track to be. I would honestly just drive it further out and I guess try to do a loop or something.
Yeah, this is going to be a night to forget for the Blue Arrows this evening, but let's go back and take a look at exactly how this started. Did he get some help maybe from this? Ooh, the 75 of Logan Simmons. That wasn't the 40's fault, just got turned there. Go back and take another look exactly how this started. You see there's the 40 and the 75 just drives in and just knocks him out of the way. And up into the wall, backs it in. That's going to be big damage on both ends of the car.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think that's going to be a retirement there. Or he's going to be a lot of laps down trying to repair that.
On board for Logan Simmons. Just misjudged it a little bit. The 22 saw Simmons take out his teammate. I'm sure there's probably be some discussions after the race about that. But third caution of the night out on lap number 48.
Yeah, we're down now to 24 cars on the lead lap. And five of them a lap down, so 29 cars a lap down or less. Everyone else pretty much behind that has been retired or significantly down on laps due to repairs.
Rob Powers in the 47 hasn't really been much of a force lately on these shorter ovals, but was pretty good at the faster, higher speed stuff. Was kind of in contention for a little while at Michigan last week. And he rolls off. Adam Blocker currently leading the way, and he has led 38 of our 49 laps so far. Joe Flanagan in the 53 has led the other laps. And look at this. Average speeds, 170.7 miles an hour around a 3/4 mile racetrack. That is insane.
Yeah, they're running stupidly high speeds around here. Especially when you consider, too, how little banking the track has. It has a little bit, not a lot.
Not a lot.
But they don't really need it because they got enough downforce as a corner 150 miles an hour.
And just, I'm curious about the differences in speed. Robert Hill Jr. again, his first race this season. Look at his best time, only 161 mile an average. So again, this is a challenging thing. And again, no idea what setup he was going to use tonight. So he was just experimenting. And clearly there's a big difference between having a team set you up and trying it on your own. But right now, 161 versus 170 average speed, and that is why 38 is mired down the lap. Learning though, this is a challenge. This is not an easy way to come in. If you're at Indianapolis or Michigan or any other big track like Pocono, it's a lot more familiar. But this is totally alien. Now you can just fly around here, barely lifting. This is a challenging track.
Yeah, you got to be on your A game too, as we saw. The difference between guys wrecking is between centimeters. We saw Jeff Drake and Lichtenberg almost get into each other, but they just kept themselves away from each other enough to make the corner.
Again, this race is brought to you by Triptacular Memories, a company that'll help you get set up for your Disney vacation or cruise. And owned and operated by driver number 28 in here, Joe Branch. Working on 13th right now with his MYLAPS sponsored IR18. We were saying earlier how nice it would be to be on a cruise right now. But ain't no rest for the wicked, I'll tell you that. 1 to green. Lights are off on the pace car. Adam Blocker will reassume the lead here. And Tony Shawan in the 31. Take a look at this night so far. Started 30th up to 6th through some strategy and some staying out. I like this call. I like where he is.
And again, that's, I think, really going to be the name of the game. Who can really play the strategy game. Obviously, you don't want to be caught out on fuel or something like that, having to take an extra pit stop. So that's where you kind of have to manage it. But yeah, getting yourself up in that position, getting yourself out of traffic is going to be a big key for a lot of these guys.
I really also like this paint scheme. It looks really super retro. Dig it. Like it. Hopefully it runs well. So Blocker again in control of the restart. He's been super good on them, getting that car fired up and going.
Yeah, he just immediately goes as soon as pace car enters pit road. You're going to see him here. Actually waits a little bit longer, then goes a little bit of a stack up in behind Joe Flanagan. Green flag back in the air.
He got. It was like about 10 car lengths the jump he got for turn 1.
He really baited him with that. Here comes Stouffer immediately to the inside of Tim Doyle. Tim Doyle trying to win this race yet again, and Bennett now going to fall prey to Stouffer, his teammate.
Yeah, Stouffer rolling around the outside lane. That's going to bring Tony Shaw into the mix. Look at Kinsella around the outside. A great move there by the number 14. And behind him, the 10 and the 92 switching spots.
And these opening laps really want to take advantage of the fresh tires you have. It's going to be a lot easier to make moves than later on in the race. So you want to go now. You see Riley Thompson to the inside of Lichtenberg.
Can't hold the inside line, so Lichtenberg will hang on to 9th for now. I see, cars bobbling. There's the Spark VR car. It's Flynn Lazier on the inside lane. Big slide out of turn 4, but he's going to let everybody by and then get back up to speed.
That is a slide, some contact, right front
he might have
wing
some damage.
Yeah, and I think even the slide.
Big steering, yeah.
He's done.
Yeah, steering damage on the number 4. That's going to be significant. So let's see exactly how we got this. This is on the back straightaway. We're right on board.
Got out of line a little bit.
Got in the wall hard.
Pounded the safer barrier.
Yeah, that'll certainly be almost the end of competition for the 4 car tonight. So one of the Spark VR cars bite the dust here early. Here's Joe Branch following Jonathan Goke. Andrew Wood, another past winner, and now Wood under attack from the 08.
Oh boy!
Woohoo! Took that for granted a little bit. Branch swings to the inside, tries to get that spot away as well.
Try to get it away out of panic though a little bit as Wood almost got into him, and here goes Branch to the inside, can't get it done. Chin's going to take advantage and go around the outside of Branch.
Then in the background you see Chad Simpson, the red and white car. Ray Kingsbury in the 25, line astern. Look at the dive that Chin goes through 1 and 2 to get even with the 32 of Andrew Wood, and a pass for position potentially.
Potentially here too. It's a matter of who's going to get the better run off the corner. Chin's going to get a nice run. Here comes Wood back on the outside. But Chin's going to have a better line into 1. Branch now trying to do the same on the inside.
Yeah, Andrew Wood kind of getting freight trained here a little bit, but Branch got a good run off the corner, then kind of slipped. That let the 32 get himself back clear again. No change out front. Blocker still up 1.1 seconds over Flanagan. Behind him, it's a hornet's nest in the midfield. Jonathan Go continues his climb forward.
Whoa! The car that slid to the
Simon
wall.
Bryant. Whoa! Okay, that was not the view I wanted, but panicked. And 2 Sadie cars and more. 3 Sadie cars all torn up in this one.
Yeah, this is a night to forget for them.
Oh my goodness. Apologize for the wrong camera angle. I saw a car spinning and clicked wrong one. But Simon Bryant, that was just not what we wanted to see. And how did this occur? 3 Sadie cars. This is a nightmare for them. And he slipped into the fence.
Hit the wall.
And then his teammate comes and drills him, and then behind him, John Downing just slips out of control right in front of Blocker. So 3 cars. This is just, they should just pack it up and go home at this point. I mean, I feel terrible for them, but I mean, nothing good is going to come from continuing for these guys to run, and I don't think they will be able to with how much damage they have.
Yeah, Downing might be able to continue on. I guess the thing he's worried about is that the wing can be replaced. Bryant, though, took a decent lick.
Was it the 56 that got into him? I'm trying to see who the other car was.
Could not tell you, to be quite honest.
Plunkett, maybe?
No, it wasn't Plunkett.
Is he the only car to survive the whole thing?
Yeah, I think he was. Regardless.
Might be Plunkett.
Was it Adams?
Oh, yeah, maybe it was. Oh, and a 4th one almost got involved. But, yeah, I think it was David Adams in the 88. Right here. This is going to hurt. Oh!
Oh, yeah, hit the wall. Yep,
that car is going to be toast. Here's a look from on board the 88, and this is almost certainly, this is why when Formula One introduced the Halo and they got the aero screen, we're going to see the 22 probably ramp up onto the nose of this car. And here's what the 88 saw. Wow, that was close. So 3 Sadie Sim Autosport cars torn up in a collision on lap number 63, and they've accounted for almost all but one of the cautions, I believe.
Yeah, all the ones except for the one between Logan Simmons.
So, caution out for, I believe, the 4th time tonight. And Andreas Eich stays out. Joshua Chin in the 93 rides in 2nd. Joe Branch in 3rd. So some more split strategies.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure what to think right now with how many different strategies we got rolling.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm trying to see who's actually, of the last of the leaders that stayed out. I think it's Matt Kingsbury. So top 4 drivers staying out on the track. Everyone else has come down to pit road.
Kingsbury's had quite a lot of bad luck. Was involved in a couple collisions at Michigan Speedway a couple weeks ago. So trying to turn this season around. Hasn't had quite the success that Ray has had. And he sits 4th right now after starting down in 28th after not laying down a qualifying time. Closing in on halfway in this race, and a bit of a shake-up as the driver that has led the most laps tonight is Adam Blocker, who should restart in 5th. Led 53 of our 65 laps. Joe Flanagan right behind him has led another 9.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for Blocker, too, having to be back in lap traffic after he took the lead very early on in the race. He's going to have to deal with 4 cars ahead of him. Yeah, that's the tough thing, too, as the leader trying to gauge, whether or not a lot of the other guys are going to come down pit road. And, for the most part, everyone came down pit road except those top 4, but that's going to matter quite a bit.
Well, and again, I still think the jury's doubted. We haven't really seen or haven't been paying attention to how those tires really act. So I'm curious to see if Adam Blocker can slice and dice or if he gets trapped behind these cars. I don't think we really paid much attention to it last time. We'll see if Ike, Chin, Branch, and Kingsbury, especially Joshua Chin, I think he's probably the strongest of this group. So I'm curious to see how long or if he can hang on to 2nd or 3rd spot. Onto the back straightaway, less than 100 laps to go, and lap 80 will be our halfway point tonight. And just over 15 laps away from that mark. Andreas Eich in the 76, been caught up in some collisions this season, none of his doing. Had some bad luck, but leads this race. We'll see if he can hang on on older tires versus Adam Blocker, Flanagan, and more. Green flag back in the air. Blocker nowhere to go, stuck behind Kingsbury, but it looks like 74 is going to pop right in a line, go to the bottom for turn 1.
He's really going to waste no time to use those pressure tires that he's got over Kingsbury to try to get on by, but you see Kingsbury getting a fantastic run off the corner. Can't get the move done. You see Stouffer and Flanagan also has a little battle.
Flanagan got a great run off of turn 4, but there's nowhere to go. He's going to stay on the outside through turn 1 and 2. We're right on board with the 53 as he tries to plan an attack on the driver that's led the most laps tonight in that blue Adrenaline sim racing car.
Have a look at the inside, can't get a run done. Caution back out.
Robert Hill Jr. in the 38 was his first race. Just a simple little spin here. Doesn't look like he hurt anything too bad. And it's his first race in this car, or at least in this season. And And we've seen a lot of drivers struggle with corner exit out of turn 2. Maybe clip the apron there just a little bit. Whoa! Look at Dan Etch. Did a great job missing that. Just tag that apron. Spun it around. Look at Dan Etch. We got it right on board with him. Whoa! Excellent job. This car spins out behind him. So our 5th caution, lap number 70. 10 to go until the halfway point. Joshua Chin still second, but as we saw, Blocker, Flanagan, and the others did not gain any spots on that restart. Now, if we're to get into a longer green flag run, I think, we might see something different, but what are the chances? I mean, we've seen cautions kind of break up these runs. I don't know if we're going to get a long green flag run.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough to tell if we will get a green flag run. Granted, though, the more and more cars that retire out of this race, you think that we should probably get more green flag running in, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, so we've lost Logan Simmons. He's done for the night. David Adams in the 88 is also out. Liam Quinn, Bradley Walters, Niles Anders all out. John Downing, Simon Bryant, Flynn Lazier also out. Didn't see what happened. Oh, I guess we did see the 4 hit the fence out of turn 2, I believe.
I think he's just done. There's not really much of a point in fixing that car, even if it does get fixed. You can see the amount of damage he has to the right side pod. It's just not going to be doing him any favors with the aero. If
you hit the fence with the wings, the front or rear wings, you're probably going to be all right. But I spy with my little eye a little SimTV logo on right in front of the rear wheel.
Yeah, there's another one on board.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. Go back on board if you want. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought you saw that.
Little Easter eggs. No, I haven't noticed that. And Spark VR, of course, a virtual reality lounge, I think based out of Connecticut, I believe. And that's a pretty cool idea. I wish I thought of that. I'd like to go to a place and just do VR, because not everyone has the components or systems to be able to run VR. I know you got a VR headset, but
I do.
It's not always perfect, is it?
No, it's not perfect because I have Windows mixed reality. The problem, well, I would love to have one of those bases that you use to track it. The only problem is Windows mixed reality doesn't allow you. It's purely based off of that. And my room here is not the best.
Set up.
It's
not set up very well. Well, you know what?
And I also don't have a lot of room.
Now, Spark VR, though. Their lounge is beautifully set up. They got all sorts of VR headsets, and you can play anything from shooters to racing games. I think they got a lap time competition going on against their Spark VR drivers. So that's a pretty cool competition they're running right now. So wish them all the best. They've been really cool on social media to us, and so far not been a spectacular race for them. But Matt Kingsbury running 4th right now in the number 21. So trying to run well. Joe Branch again in the 28 right in front. A little bit of strategy for this MYLAPS sponsor car, but looking pretty good.
It's paid off for all 4 of the drivers that stayed out, and I think they ran about 15 to 17 laps on their tires under green flag conditions beforehand, so it's looking like it's starting to pay off for them. And the front really didn't see Blocker being able to get by Matt Kingsbury at all.
Yeah. Another sponsor that helps the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series is the Coca-Cola bottling plant of Kokomo, Indiana. And you know what we tried today, Finian, was the cinnamon Coke. We saw that Kokomo was bottling, that Coca-Cola plant was bottling it. And hey, I found some at Walmart, bought it, and man, that stuff is good. I think that's probably my new favorite Coca-Cola flavor.
I can't wait to try that with some ice cream. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
The cinnamon distillate, it's a perfect amount of cinnamon.
It's a spectacular flavor. So we've been big fans of Coca-Cola. That stuff is just, like, for lack of a better term, Coke. For me, that stuff is amazing, but whether it be cherry Coke or cinnamon Coke, that stuff's awesome. So appreciate Kokomo Bottling Plant coming on board, sponsoring the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series season. They're sponsoring the Triple Crown. We got one more Triple Crown event at the end of the season at Auto Club that'll round out our Triple Crown events. Next week, we head to Sebring and a little bit of a bumpy road course, then Kansas Road America, and finishing out the season. So only 4 rounds left after this one, but Andreas Ike controls the race on lap 74. 6 laps to halfway, and Ike brings us back down. Green flag back in the air.
You see Ike not really taking as big of a jump on the start as you saw Blocker, and here speaking of Blocker, goes back to the inside of Kingsbury again on the restart. Wasn't successful. Last restart is successful on this one.
Yeah, he's finally got it, and looks like Kingsbury was trying to fight him off, but couldn't do it. Slots back in line. Flanagan now has a car between him and the driver that's led the most laps tonight. In the background, Jonathan Goke in the 08, trying to overtake Brendan Lichtenberg. Chris Stouffer has been falling back here, Finney. Not sure what's going on. Some strategy has put him a little off sequence, but Kinsella in the 14 going to drive around the bottom. Can't complete the pass, though.
Teammates fighting it out here. I'm wondering if one of them's going to let the other on by. Looks like they're still fighting for it at the moment.
speed's incredibly high here. And Stouffer is going to let Kinsella on through. And he sets his sights now on Flanagan, Kingsbury, and Adam Blocker, who, on fresh tires, is trying to chase down the top three, Ike, Chin, and Branch. And what a race this would be for Ike to get his first win of the season. It has been an up and down season of sorts. Had a crash at Michigan a couple times, and also Mid-Ohio was a race to forget for him, trying to turn things around a little bit later in the season in his 76 car, as Blocker looks for third on Joe Branch.
It actually looks like Blocker now getting, after getting past Kingsbury, looks like he's having a much easier time getting through the field. Now gets past Joe Branch, so he'll take on third place.
And again, he's led 53 laps and has one of the best lap times of the event. Not the best, though. There are a couple other drivers that have gone a little quicker than him. One of them being the leader, Andreas Ike, who's actually, excuse me, that's not correct. I'm looking for Adam Blocker 15.199. That might have been the quickest lap we've seen. It actually turns out it is. So he has gone the quickest of anybody, 170.7 miles an hour. Midfield's getting a little dicey. There's Jeff Drake. He's got Jonathan Goat lined up behind him, and right out front, Tim Doyle. Pass winner, looks for a gap, and it's not there. Crash in front of him, Matt Kingsbury around out of turn 2. And I see smoke, but he might be okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't see any damage, actually.
Side pod might have some. Looks okay.
I thought maybe the wing, but I guess it's just the way it's shaped. I thought there was a little bit of damage to it, but it looks like he's fine.
Let's go back and take a look. This could just be an innocent spin out of turn number 2. It looked like he was all by himself. Here's a look.
I think clipped the apron a bit.
Yep, same thing. Whoa! And Joe Flanagan might have gotten lucky. The Kingsbury around, and again, we saw this just last caution with the 38.
Yeah, I just clipped it a bit. Just touched the yellow line. That was enough to send him around.
Well, apparently the internet didn't agree that they made contact there. Can't tell if that's counted that or not, but
I don't think it did.
Looks all right.
Put their wing back. I think it thought for a second, but it was like, nope, they didn't touch at all.
So that'll put Kingsbury in the last car on the lead lap, and more shuffling. Joshua Chin stays out. Ike's going to come down pit lane, and I'm just so confused by the strategy here. I can't tell what everyone's doing. It seems like some drivers are just pitting every chance they get. Some drivers are just staying out for the long haul. So a lot of different strategies in play right now.
I think really the best strategy to go with is to, space out when you pit out. Like, don't pit every single caution and make a decision, if you're a certain amount of laps into a run, then you decide to come down into the pits because the tires are worth it. But again, you have to also kind of follow what the pack's doing as well as the lights come on.
So lights are on here at Richmond. We're just past the halfway point, lap 84 of 160. The dominant car of the night has been Adam Blocker, stuck back in traffic a little bit. That tells me some things later. We get a late race caution, Finian. I would not pit. I don't think tires are worth it. If you can get a couple cars to stay out with you, I just don't think there's that big of an advantage.
And especially, again, like I said, especially if you're really the leader. For second and on back, I think it's a kind of a different story because you're stuck back in dirtier, so you really do need some fresher tires. But if you're the leader, you have maybe 5 laps to go on a restart, just stay out, and you'll get clean air. You're able to jump the start to build up a little bit of a gap, and it's going to be pretty hard for the guy behind you to get past, and especially build up that gap back, bring that gap back down in 5 laps or so. So I think that's really going to be the call.
Cloudy skies here as the lights come on, and track temperature, we didn't expect to change a whole lot. It is not, but look at the wind. 14 miles an hour out of the west, and that tells me, Finian, that maybe the wind is playing a factor. A crosswind out of the corners pushing the cars around. These things don't weigh very much, so I think that could certainly be the case. As you're going to look up what direction Richmond Raceway faces, because that's my guess, is that the wind's going to be pushing these cars around. And looks like Richmond Raceway, where are we situated? So the wind would be blowing really from turn 4 across to turn 1, unless we're focused the wrong direction here.
This is turn 1.
Yep, so where's north on that map there? Okay, yeah, so the wind's blowing from to the west or from the west? I would assume from the west. So it'll be across from turn 4.
No, I thought it would be from here, right? If it's blowing west, it'd be going this way on the map, so it'd be going from 1 to 4.
Oh yeah, you're right. So that would make sense. Is it 15 to the west or out of the west?
I'm pretty sure what the direction is, it's from like where it's.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're
heading.
right. So look from up above. So basically, that would mean that the wind is coming from the right-hand side of the screen and going up to the top left. So from turn 1 over to the turn 3 side. And what that means is that it's going to push a little bit on the cars out of turn number 2, and that's probably why we've seen so many cars get loose up there. 1 to green, field's gonna line back up, Joshua Chin. The lone car on the previous strategy out in front of Adam Blocker, and the sunset is gorgeous behind the clouds there as we close in on the final 70 laps of this race. Joshua Chin, remember, so close to a race win a few weeks ago at Mid-Ohio, got it pulled away from him in the last corner. Zach Campbell was the one that came away with that victory.
Yeah, well, he's got another shot at it here as he gets a good jump on the start. Green flag back in the air, but Blocker not letting him get that far away.
Yeah, Blocker got a good restart there right behind him. Flanagan trying to hold off his instant caution as Jonathan Goat is around on the front straightaway, stopped right out of turn 4. We're right back under yellow once again. And restarts were a topic of discussion last time around, and I expect there'll be a continued discussion around him after this incident, but let's see how this happened here. Oh, he just spun out.
Yeah.
I thought there was a stack up.
Just got loose as he was getting back up to speed.
We're right on board. In first gear, shift to second.
Yeah, that's always the toughest one, from the shift from first to second if you're not careful.
And
yeah, I think he was trying to back it off onto the apron to prevent the car coming out, but it's too late.
Well, and you mentioned the shift from first to second. Well, these gearboxes are nice; they're pretty smooth, but they still create a kind of a jolt through the whole drivetrain. Yeah. So when you shift and you're in the corner loaded up at high RPM, it gives you a pretty big jolt at a racetrack that's so low grip like this one. We've seen a lot of drivers struggling to do that cleanly. So Gok was running quite well, but falls back to 22nd. We have 22 cars on the lead lap. Robert Hill Jr., first car 1 lap down, all carbon fiber on this car this week. This has been a bit of a learning experience. He's exactly where he started earlier. And again, Robert Hill Jr. is a stock car guy. He believes he's actually a crew chief for the NASCAR Pinty Series machine. So trying to learn adjustments on a very different machine tonight.
Okay, so apparently it actually originates from the West. Apparently that's where it originates.
Okay, so it's the other direction.
Yeah.
So so I think that entire theory we were just talking about makes no sense.
No, so it's coming from turn 4 to turn 1. So it's going from right to left. Yeah, it's going
the other time
right
we were talking about it, the track was flipped around the other way, so it went left to right now. But
well, no, that's still the West.
yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, before when we said from right to left on the screen, the track was facing the other direction.
We're not good at weather. Okay?
No, we're not weathermen. We're racing commentators. Okay.
I feel bad because I'd never realized that until now. That
well, I thought you were right.
Well, yeah, because I would.
But a westerly is coming out of the west. See, my dad's a sailor, and he would know that, and he'd probably whip me for not knowing that.
Yeah, because I mean, usually I don't pay attention to where the wind's coming from. Like,
well, the weird thing is, I also am a sailor, and you'd think I would know that. I got a little sunfish, a little 14-foot frayed knot, I called it, like because it's a knot.
What?
It's a frayed knot.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's what you call the ship, the boat.
Yeah. Because it's a frayed knot. I'm afraid not. All right, 92 laps in, make it 93 as they cross the line. Well, make it 92, I guess, as they cross the line. So Blocker leads this race again as the 93 came down to pit lane. We should be done in good pitting, I would assume. So really, they're just pitting for tires, but I would just disagree that they're worth much, if anything, right now. I'd just stay out to the end of the race. What's your call?
Yeah, I would come in at least one more time. At some point, maybe around, honestly, if we got a caution from laps 120 to 130, I'll make a pit stop and be like, yeah, it's the last one, I'm coming in for tires. Maybe, I guess you could even go a little bit earlier. I think this is a little bit too much to the end. That's 70 laps on a set, depending on how many cautions you get. And that's another thing, too, depending on how many cautions you get and how many green flag laps you actually get while the tires are running.
The 1 to green once again. Blocker, Flanagan, Kinsella, Stouffer, Bennett, Drake, Schowen, Lichtenberg, Thompson, Ike, your top 10. Then Branch, Doyle, Simpson, Wood, Levick, rest of your top 15. Then now McBride, Plunkett, Powers, Kingsbury, and Jonathan Gok. And Robert Hill Jr. still trapped a lap down, but going to be trying to earn his way back onto the lead lap in the late stages of this race. Still, we have 25 Dallara IR18 Indy cars on the racetrack. We have 22 of them on the lead lap in contention for the race win. Really, I think Blocker, Flanagan, Kinsella, the 3 best drivers here tonight as we fire back up. Green flag back in the air.
And Blocker taking his lead, keeping his lead back from Flanagan, Kinsella, Stouffer, and Bennett.
170 average miles an hour. You saw Kinsella dive underneath somebody off into turn 3. That's Flanagan for second.
Flanagan trying to break up the adrenaline party as they're 1, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
See the understeer a little bit from the aero wash off the back of the 53, and you can combat that a little bit by choosing a different line, but it's still kind of a fundamental physics problem. Following the car too closely, you're going to lack downforce on your car. Caution. And it's Jonathan Goke again. Seems like the people that are struggling tonight are really struggling. It's really been a handful of cars.
Yeah,
the Sadie cars and Goke, and then the 75 that have been the cause or the result of several of our cautions tonight.
And I guess it just kind of shows, you know, who's got the setup and who's got it wrong.
Well, you'd think that, but I mean, I guess the Spark VR cars aren't really having a spectacular night, but it seems like it's Goke in particular.
It could just be overdriving a little bit too much for the setup to handle, or just not making the right adjustments as well in car.
Yeah, and again, weight jacker, very important setup change, and out of turn 4 just slips and loses it right in front of teammate Ray Kingsbury.
Oh,
Woo, Robert Hill
that
Jr.
was-
missed a wreck there.
That was really close. They're actually did a good job looping it around. Almost got into traffic though. Robert Hill got a really good view of that.
Whoa! Yeah, if he didn't save that car and swing it around the other direction, we could be watching a multi-car accident here. But now pit stops again. I can't say I expected this. I still thought we'd be out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I would say that.
I guess maybe Joe Flanagan knows he's not going to beat Blocker any other way, because Blocker has stayed out with Branch, Ike, and Doyle. So maybe just trying to throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. There's kind of a risk associated with that as well, getting buried in traffic.
I also enjoy how the light is just a white square on the inside here.
Oh, yes. No glare on that, I guess, iRacing. All right, we're going to jump to break real quick. We're going to hear from our sponsor, MYLAPS. We'll be right back for the restart on lap number 101.
To get the best result, it's all about ambition, hard work, and doing the right things right. In 1982, two Dutch brothers invented an automatic way to time RC races. The system of the company, called AMB-IT, was quickly adopted by pro racing series like NASCAR and IndyCar. Automated timing for mass participation sport events was also invented in the Netherlands by Champion Chip in the early 90s, giving athletes a personal chip time of their performance. In 2008, the two companies joined forces, and MYLAPS Sports Timing was born. We never stop innovating, with state-of-the-art timing systems and digital services to enhance the event experience. With our X2 platform, we bring motorsports timing to a whole new level with two-way communication. Our event app and photo video create the ultimate event experience for athletes and fans with live data and personal content like photos and videos. SpeedHive provides a pro-level racing experience for amateur and club events by analyzing personal data. We capture performances of over 20 million racers and athletes every year and use live data to spark emotions. MYLAPS. Experience progress.
Welcome back live to Sim TV. The Triptacular Memories 160. 100 of the 160 laps have been complete. And 115.3 miles. Getting close down to the end of this one. Less than 15 minutes of racing remaining. A octet of cautions tonight. 8 so far. Most of them, the Sadie Sim Autosport team having a miserable night tonight. Just not the night that they needed to have for the points. But Adam Blocker has been in control of most of this race.
Yeah, we're down only 24 cars running on the track, 21 of which were on the lead lap. Rob Power is the last car on the lead lap.
As Adam Blocker is going to fire up for the restart here. Joe Branch right behind Andreas Ike, Tim Doyle, Chad Simpson lined up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Restart back in the air, green flag.
If it Another great start for Blocker over Joe Branch, but Branch has been
And
able
caution.
to stay.
And it's Chris Stouffer this time.
Oh, wow.
And restart struggles, and I would not have expected the 13 to have trouble.
Yeah, I think this is going to be similar to exactly to what Gok had. I think just might have had a or not misshift, but just I think got a bad shift going from first to second.
And again, a lot of this is because you have to restart mid-corner, and you're putting a lot of lateral load on the tires and trying to get the car into gear as well, and gonna just shift. Gary, Kinsella as well.
Yeah.
Wow, we matched that perfectly. Let's go back. I want to ride on board gearbox-wise. I bet you the shift a second. Yep, same exact thing as Goat before.
Simultaneously spinning or getting sideways at least for the adrenaline cars.
And I bet you Kinsella had a very similar situation. Second gear, same thing. And that shift.
Yeah, I think it's just these guys are lining up in a really tricky part, especially because they're coming out of the corner while they're shifting into second. So I think that really part of the corner is catching them off guard.
So Blocker controls this race, lap 104 of 160. Let's talk about some drivers we haven't really seen up towards the front a whole lot. Henry Bennett, the 007 Finian, surprised at the lack of pace overall that this 007 has had tonight.
Yeah, he was up there at one point joining his fellow teammates.
Though.
But yeah,
pace, you know,
yeah.
it bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, he pit with them and is now kind of back there.
Niall McBride, a couple other drivers. A lot of these drivers have had a chance up towards the front tonight, but for one reason or the other are not there. Jeff Drake, remember, he was a really solid race-winning contention. Here, Kinsella.
Someone's burning fuel.
Flanagan? Nope. Go.
Yeah,
I always love when they do this. But
gotta
again,
be careful though.
You see the lights on the tack flashing. That tells me that they got the clutch in and revving that car out, trying to make the engine use more fuel, burn it off, because you don't need that much, and the less fuel you have, the lighter your car is, the faster you'll go. That's the theory. I've never really seen that actually be super effective, but I guess you could speak to that.
Every little bit helps. I don't really think he's going to be burning that much, especially considering that they go relatively short distance around here under caution, so I don't think he's really going to have enough time to burn that fuel, but, you know, every little bit helps. That being said, though, if you are a car that's struggling with, you know, grip, and we see Goat struggle with that a little bit, I think you want a little bit more fuel in the back to balance the car out, get a little bit more weight.
I mean, there's a lot of math going on inside the driver's heads for that sort of thing, but a couple of the drivers, Riley Thompson has retired his number 58. Didn't see what happened to him.
Yeah, didn't see what happened to him either. I don't think he was involved with caution. Maybe he was or had something else to do, but yeah, that's unfortunate because he was running so well. This is a potential chance for him to get a win.
And it seems like the wins just are always slipping out of the fingers of the 58. And other drivers, Joe Flanagan started on pole tonight. This is a really strong race for the 53. Hasn't had a whole lot of really impressive races like this season, but right now he sits in 10th, and I'm just a little bit disappointed. I know there's been some strategy that's shuffled him out, but I thought he would be one to contend with Adam Blocker, but throughout the strategy and everything else, he's been shuffled back here a little bit.
I mean, I could see this working out for him if he decides not to come back down onto pit road now that stop with his final stuff. I could see this definitely working out for him, considering the amount of yellows we've had, but he's got to hope that Blocker comes down at least one more time.
So this is the lowest that Flanagan has been running all night, but he'll line up again behind Jonathan Goak in the 08. Been a struggle on the restarts for a lot of drivers tonight to get the power down without causing a collision or a spin. The shift from first to second has been the challenging one so far. Blocker, Branch, Ike, Doyle Simpson, your top five, and Chad Simpson carrying the Spark VR banner. But as I say that, look who's lined up behind him. 1, 2, 3 teammates. If you take out Joshua Chin, that's 4 Spark VR cars in a line. Simpson, Kingsbury, and Goak.
See these guys get going for the restart again. Blocker with a jump. Green flag back in the air. Branch, not as good of a restart as he had last time.
And instant caution again towards the rear of the field, and this time it's Matt Kingsbury spinning around. I will bet you $1 million in a cinnamon Coca-Cola that Matt Kingsbury slipped into second gear, and that's what caused the spin. Let's go back.
Yeah,
Where's my cinnamon Coke?
No, and the thing is, it happened in the exact same part of the corner. Like clockwork. This happened around the same position as well.
Yep, just a shift to second. And maybe bouncing off the rev limiter also helps upset the car, but...
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that some of these guys haven't decided, you know, again, I know everyone...
to stay in second gear, right?
Well, not even that. I would say, honestly, run a lower line. or try to get a straighter line through the corner. Because I think it's the problem with them turning as well as shifting into gear. It's upsetting the car and spinning it out while they're still putting turning input. They could try to straighten out the car while they're accelerating, which I know is harder to do. Harder to do than I'm saying. I think that could help them out, especially those guys starting in that awkward part of the corner.
So if you want to watch the last 50 laps of this race, go ahead and grab an ice cold Coke, courtesy of the Coca-Cola bottling plant of Kokomo, Indiana. I want to thank MYLAPS for coming on board, sponsoring this series start to finish this year, as well as Triptacular Memories. Of course, this race is the Triptacular Memories 160 from Richmond Raceway, 115 miles. We're getting closer and closer to capping off all the miles to complete here tonight. Of course, Triptacular Memories setting up your Disney vacation or cruise, courtesy of the driver number 28, Joe Branch, who currently resides in second place right now. And he's got the Triptacular Memories logo on the side of his car, as well as on those front wing pieces there. So 50 laps to go. Adam Blocker has been in control of most of it. We've had 10 cautions for a total of 46 laps, and it doesn't really feel like that from our perspective. We see a lot of racing from all over the place, and some races feel like they're always under yellow. This one's, we felt like we've had some green flag runs, but yeah, the cautions are relatively quick.
Yeah, I had a string of cautions here just with guys having trouble on these restarts.
And it's not easy. We've established that. Even though the track temperature would lead you to think that it's easy, it's certainly been a significant challenge. We talked about the crosswind earlier, that potentially upsetting the car a little bit. 14, 15 miles an hour would do a heck of a lot to these cars, especially with this short oval road course package. A lot more wing area to kind of act like a sail on these cars. We should be getting the 1 to green here relatively soon. And to go to DiCienzo in the 43, I am a little bit... We haven't seen a whole lot of him either tonight.
He's been really quiet in the back, currently a lap down, and not even in the free pass position. That goes to Robert Hill Jr.
Nice looking gold livery, though. I dig that. Lead Gaming on the side of his number 43. Dan Ench in the 52 has avoided a bunch of accidents tonight, but hasn't had a whole lot in terms of pace. Sits right now 24th, also 1 lap down. And Chris Stouffer, after his spin on the restart, trying to recover his night. Currently sits in 21st. That's the lowest he's been this evening. Robert Hill Jr. still only 1 lap down. And you know what? I'll say this has been a successful night for him. He hasn't crashed the car. He did spin it out once, but trying to figure out the setup, trying to figure out the adjustments. There's a lot to learn in a very short amount of time for a driver like him, and I think this is a very challenging place to set up a car. I don't think next week at Sebring is going to be any nicer, though. Sebring is extremely challenging to set up for bumps and on walls and everything. You got to avoid, and curbs that are massive there next week. That's going to be an immense challenge for these drivers and these teams. But setting up for a restart with about 45 laps to go. Your pick to win this race, I'm going to say Adam Blocker's off limits. If Adam Blocker doesn't win, who wins?
Where's his next teammate? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just trying to look through. I think, Joshua Chin sitting in 7th. I think he's going to be able to take it if Blocker doesn't.
All right, Joshua Chin finished second by 7 thousandths of a second at Mid-Ohio a few weeks back. The last time we were at a road course, sitting 7th right now. Green flag back in the air, and everyone fires off. And I think this time we're going to get green, and we will. 3 wide.
Oh, boy.
93's in the middle of it. That's the 25 at Kingsbury way outside. And Jonathan Gokup to 6th. A good restart for the 08.
Yeah, great jump for him. He was able to immediately get by Joshua Chin. And here he's going to attack his teammate now, Chad Simpson, to try to be the lead Spark VR car, and will indeed succeed in doing that.
Joshua Chin, Ray Kingsbury side by side down the back straight. 45 to go at the line. Jeff Drake getting by the 14 of Andrew Kinsella. And now Chin under attack from Joe Flanagan in the number 53 on the pole sitter on the outside lane. And going to try to carry the run. Squeezes in the outside. He'll have that spot.
Chin still trying to wrestle this away, but Flanagan going to get a fantastic run on the outside. Chin going to come up in line to defend. And here comes Kinsella up the inside now.
Yeah, the 93, not a very good restart, kind of pushed out of the groove and losing spots left and right. You see Tony Shawan, that red number 31 in the background. He's coming up through the field as well. It's been a slow and steady progress forward after starting 30th up to 13th right now. Smoke up the road. Bit of a lockup for somebody, but carry on. Up front, it's all Adam Blocker. Joe Branch, 0.7 of a second behind. Branch is a little quicker right now. but it's going to be a struggle to get. Look at this pack here, Finian.
Big group of guys settling in behind Ray Kingsbury. He's holding up quite a few guys. Here goes
Whoa.
Flanagan. Great run oth the corner. Then he'll have a look to the inside of Chad Simpson.
Yeah, Simpson got real tight at a turn 2, and that's going to leave him subject to getting passed by Kinsella and Joshua Chin as well. Chin lost a bunch of spots on the restart. He's going to be exceptionally hungry to get them spots back. Riding behind the 42.
And up ahead of them, Flanagan and Kinsella now going at it. I think Kinsella's got a little bit of a better car than Flanagan at the moment.
Oh, crash behind him. The 32 of Andrew Wood clips another Sadie car into the fence. Hard impact. And that is the 20 of Adam Plunkett, the lone Sadie Sim Autosport car left in the race, running at least decently well. And
that's horrible luck.
And again, all 4 of those cars. I mean, it's just a graveyard of blue IR18s on pit lane. And let's go back and see how this one started. Andrew Wood loose in turn 4. I'm not sure if he had help or not. Nope, just got loose all on his own at a turn 4. And the 20 car of Plunkett right here. Big impact. And actually, thankfully, the fence actually saved him from getting hit by more cars. But chose a line, wrong direction.
I think he was hoping that Wood would lock the car down.
That's not a fun place to be. View.
He sees Wood spinning here, so he decided he went pretty much as low as he could have gone.
Yeah, you're just hoping when you see that car spin that it's going to go the direction you think it will. And obviously it did not for the number 32 of Andrew Wood. As he slid down the racetrack, he's going to just tag the 20. For Andrew Wood, he might be able to repair this car, given that there's no suspension damage, but he got hit pretty hard in the left front there. So we'll head back live, see how long it takes him to fix this car.
Well, the looks of it, it looks like he's only got wing damage, so that shouldn't be too long of a repair. If he has anything more, though, it's going to take a lot longer to fix. Nope, and just a wing, so he's off and away.
Wow, that was lucky and really unfortunate for Plunkett, who will be done for the night. So Adam Plunkett, Simon Bryant, John Downing, David Adams, Bradley Walters, all of those Sadie Sim Autosport cars out and done for the night.
Yeah, really unfortunate night for them.
Joe Branch is having an exceptional night, though, riding in second place right now, and was a little bit quicker than Blocker a couple laps into that run. I don't know if he's quick enough to maybe make a pass for the lead, but he's certainly going to try.
Yeah, a lot of the guys still out there burning fuel.
I think it's just Gok.
Anytime we see the fuel pass, you can hear him off in the distance.
Someone else is doing it. I think it might be Kingsbury.
I think it's Kingsbury because he's running all the way out there trying to get...
Running a long way around as well.
Yeah.
12,030 RPM rev limit for these cars. A little faster than your lawnmower, I would say.
I would think so.
These are technically Honda, right? These cars, technically.
The thing,
turning 9,000 Tokyo torpedoes.
Well, actually, the thing is, it's not like mentioned anywhere on the official car that if it's a Honda.
Well,
or a Chevy.
I think originally it had Honda branding. It was removed. That's what my understanding.
Was it?
I think so.
I don't think it. No, I don't think it was at all.
Really?
Well, yeah, it was at all. It was weird because they just called it the IR18. The DW12 had Honda badging when it was released.
That was it. Yeah.
The IR18 never had it at the beginning, and actually, that's the funny thing. That's why for the iRacing Esports network, they asked for the Lionheart series that I run, and this doesn't affect. Actually, this did kind of affect me. We can't have any branding of any sort on any of the cars.
You run our logo. Advertising for more series that we can't take.
Yeah, because a lot of guys had Mercedes logos on the 79. Again, guys had Chevy and Honda logos on the Indy cars, but they had to remove it because it's technically neither. Although someone had someone's engine got scanned. Don't know whose it is. I would assume Honda, but
yeah, that would be what I think was the case. Anyway, Adam Blocker in the number 74 has led 90 laps, easily clinching the most laps led this race. And it hasn't really even been close. I mean, he's been put back on strategy a little bit, but he's been by far the fastest car out here most of the race. Coming to the restart, it'll be just over 30 laps to go, about 34 when we take the green. And that'll only take us about 8.5 minutes if we go green to the end. I don't think we are going to go green to the end with the struggles we've had on restarts tonight, but 11 cautions for 54 laps, only 4 lead changes, but Blocker has led the most. 34 laps to go for Adam Blocker. Green flag back in the air here at Richmond. Kinsella looking aggressive on the restart in his number 14. Down to the bottom, Ray Kingsbury through 1 and 2. Trying to grab spots away. Tim Doyle, Andreas Ike side by side. And Goke trying to swing to the left in turn 3.
Goke be really aggressive here in these later restarts. Here comes Tim Doyle, though, with a big run on Ike. Trying to get a run to the inside. He should be able to make the pass complete by turn 1. He does, up into third.
Tim Doyle, a past winner of this race, has been a non-factor for most of the season. Only won top 15 earlier this year at Gateway. It's been a miserable year for the 11, trying to recreate his past season magic up to P3.
His tying his best finish, that was third at Gateway. That was where he finished here, trying to make that even better in the second, and honestly began up into first.
Flanagan in the 53, really aggressive on the back of Kingsbury. Down into turn 3 and 4, slides up the racetrack, can't hang on to it. Kingsbury will keep 7th for now, and Jeff Drake smells blood in the water, goes to the high side.
Yeah, you're going to have to be aggressive now. We're getting into the end game here with 30 laps left to go.
Looking up the road, Andreas Ike in the 76. Caution flies with 30 laps to go.
Robert Hill.
Robert Hill Jr. in the 30. No.
Pretty sure it was because I just saw speed go negative.
Okay, so let's go take a look. I think, yeah, it was him. And it was down in turn number 1. He was way to the inside, on the inside of Rob Powers.
I think clipped the apron.
And clipped the apron. Yeah, it'll be the second time tonight. And I think, does he hit the wall this time? I don't know if he hit the wall or just tried to get off the racetrack before causing a yellow. I think the latter is the situation here. And a challenging racetrack. Just snags it.
On exit.
And tried to get off the racetrack before caution flew, was not able to do so. Well, Tim Doyle in the 11, how about this guy, Finian? He's charging up through the field. Still has not led a lap today, but is sitting close enough to take the win away from Adam Blocker if he could just get a couple green flag laps in and maybe a little bit lucky.
Yeah, I think for the most part we're going to see most of the leaders decide not to come down to pit road. We had a myriad of cautions. A lot of the laps that you do see run on the screen, especially Blocker too, a lot of them again have been under caution, so not really putting any wear on the car.
Take a look though, the number of laps since the last pit stop for Adam Blocker, 70 laps versus 50 for Branch and Doyle. I don't know how much it's going to matter, but it might be a little bit.
Yeah, it might a little bit, but again, with the restarts he's been getting and these short runs we've been having, by the time they get to him, it's like we're going to have a caution. It seems, at least, the way this race has gone. So I don't think he's under much of a threat, which is worrying for guys like Branch and Doyle, because it's, you know, how you're going to get past them here. I think they're really going to need a green flag run to the end to even have an attempt.
So it sounds like Robert Hill Jr. had a passing under yellow that needed to be served, and basically was just trying to stay out of the way of the leaders, and ended up getting looped around. So an unfortunate start. Robert Hill Jr. was doing a good job in a very different setup than he's used to driving. And looks like he will not be running the road course races. He'll be back at Kansas, I believe, in 3 weeks.
So I don't know why he doesn't run road courses. He's pretty decent, at least in the stock car.
Well, he won earlier. I mean, again, the Yunzer Graphics Unreal Tour season finale, it starts in about an hour. And remember, third race of that season, he won at Watkins Glen. So he's no slouch on the road courses.
Yeah, I think he would do fairly well. But unfortunately, we'll see him at the next oval, which should...
it's going to be 2 weeks. 3 weeks from now. So it'll be at Kansas Speedway. Then there's one more after that, Auto Club on the 15th of December. The Auto Club is the last Triple Crown sponsored by the Coca-Cola bottling plant of Kokomo, Indiana. And that will be our last round of the season to finish it off. So Sebring next week, then Kansas 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. Then Road America the week after that. Then Auto Club Speedway to finish out the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series season for 2019. Again, these guys are not going very far for very long. They're going to restart a couple weeks after that and be firing back up for the spring months. And they will be right back here, as of now, on Sim TV for next season. So Sunday nights will continue to have IndyCar Series action. Just over 20 laps to go, 25 to go at the line next time by. Blocker continues his lead so far. Tim Doyle keeping an eye on this purple and white IR18.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised he started further back in the grid.
Back in 9th place.
Yeah, I thought he would hang out around there. I didn't think he would be much of a threat up in the front, but proved me wrong here in the later parts of this race in third. And for the most part, looks like he's going to stay here. Not really anything saying why he shouldn't be. So it's just really a matter of if he can get past Joe Branch and, more importantly, Adam Blocker for the lead of this race. But running out of laps here.
25 laps to go. It'll be 24 at the restart. Blocker, Branch, Doyle, Ike, Kinsella, and Jonathan Gope dropping down the order. I think internet lost for the 08. That's not the first time that's happened this season to him.
Oh, he's
Just
back.
pop back in. He's good.
I was gonna say he's looking. He popped back in, pegging the limiter.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Getting ready for the restart here. 20 cars on the lead lap. 22 of them still kicking.
Adam Blocker is 24 laps away from another race victory this season. He's got to hang on. Joe Branch, Tim Doyle, Andreas Ike, Jonathan Go. Green flag back in the air. 24 to go at Richmond.
Great start for Blocker yet again. Branch not so much. He's under attack by Tim Doyle. Can Tim Doyle get second place here? This could be big if he can make the pass before another caution could potentially come out.
Yeah, Doyle's really got to hustle right now to get by that 28, but very equal tires. But look at the run the 28 gets out of turn 4 on the 74. And Blocker, he's a little bit quicker right now.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a dive into turn 1 that cost him some time, but definitely the 28 sticking with the 74. Blocker not able to drive off into the distance just yet.
Big pile of race cars out of turn 4. That's Matt Kingsbury sliding to the outside of the 31 of Shawan.
Yeah, and Stouffer trying to get past his teammate Henry Bennett on the inside. He will do so. Now here comes Kingsbury on the outside of Bennett. Shawan and Chin in the mix.
All a battle for 11th place right now. Shawan on the inside. Joshua Chin, Chad Simpson, Niall McBride all hunting for a top 10 spot just up the road. Stouffer has it, and all these cars behind him want it.
Yeah, neither one is giving an inch, especially in the later part of this race. They're going all in now. Can't wait around it much longer.
93 pops out of line, trying to get by Shawan for 13th. 20 laps to go at the front of the field. It's Adam Blocker by 0.4 of a second over Joe Branch, then another half second back to Tim Doyle. I just don't know if anybody's got anything for him.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of where the gap stabilizes out at about a half a second. It's going to be much harder to get anything more than that. You see, go over the back of Andreas Ike. He's able to keep into it, but can't make the pass necessarily on the 76. He's going to have a look to the inside of 3 and 4.
Won't be enough. Andrew Kinsella sitting behind in 6 if these two get together. And Ike's going to go a little bit wide. Gok will take the inside groove down in turn 1 and 2 and try to pull even with him on the back straight.
Whoa, and Gok trying to get a little bit of a draft is going to pull right behind the 76. Almost clipped him. Getting a nice run off of 4. They're going to be side by side at the line.
I think Gok is going to win this war. But Ike still has the outside lane, so the battle has been won by the 76. But who's going to win the war here as the 08 rolls the inside lane, trying to bring Kinsella with him. The 76 in the fence out of turn 4.
A little bit of a rub into the fence.
That was a big rub. That was a big hit.
Now let's right on board with him, see if it is.
He lost a couple spots due to that issue. A car up the road, Joe Branch, he must have hit the wall. Slow in the middle of the racetrack, and either swing left and swing right. Kinsella's on the grass on the front straight, and everyone's scattering around the 28, caution behind him. Andrew Wood in the fence on the front straightaway. A chaotic front straightaway leads to the 32's retirement. Wow. Henry Bennett in his 007
as well. That's big for the championship. Henry Bennett running in second, trying to chase down Blocker, who's in the lead.
Yeah, Wood just got in the fence. Chad Simpson got a piece of it as well.
Yeah, he nailed Henry Bennett.
Oh, big hit to the fence.
That's our board with the.
There's 42's view.
Whoa.
I want to ride on board with the Kinsella machine and see how that all happened here.
Luckily, overall, Kinsella didn't lose that many spots. Back in the 7th.
He slipped trying to get out of the way and ran through the grass on the front straight.
Yeah, this got interesting here.
Everyone was just, Joe Branch got saved here because his car is badly damaged. And here's Andrew Wood again. And just bad timing for the 007. And
Bennett went flying around.
So not the way that Andrew Wood wanted his night to end. Again, this season has been really hit or miss, and he was struggling quite a bit. Then he went out and won a Fuel IndyCar Series race a couple weeks ago, helped him a lot with his confidence. Ran pretty well at Michigan a few weeks ago in this series, and now tonight the bad luck continues and has kind of gotten him back on the wrong track again. So hopefully he can turn things around in the next race at Sebring next week. But oh boy. What do you do now, pit stops wise? Stay out, stay out, stay out?
Yeah, absolutely stay out. I think, especially too, if we get another caution, could potentially end the race, or give another short restart here. So this track position is going to be absolutely vital now. I think guys in the back, obviously Joe Branch, some of the guys in the back might just come into pit. Nothing really to lose, only really much to gain from here on out. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Branch after running in second I had a shot at a solid top 3. Unfortunately, it's not going to be.
It was a good night for him until that moment. Got in the fence, slowed himself down, but that puts Tim Doyle in second place. And I don't know if he's quite quick enough for the 74, but he's going to have a fair shot at him this time.
This is going to be the best shot he's going to have all race. So he's gotten the opportunity here. He's going to have to make the most of it. He has to make a pass early on. He can't afford to wait around with block, because if another caution comes out and they stay in the same order, whoever's going to be the leader at the line, if a caution comes out, is going to win.
He has led 0 laps so far. There's 11 to go. You only need to lead 1 to win the race. In the Triptacular Memories 160, brought to you by person that brings Triptacular Memories to you. That's Joe Branch. Again, struggles for him, but and his company, Triptacular Memories, will set you up on your Disney journey, whether it be a cruise or whether it be a trip to one of the Disney parks. And we know that we'd probably rather be there right now.
Yeah, especially when the cold comes in. I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, negative 20 here. Oh, wind chill. It was with the wind chill, and we still had school. They kept it open still.
Oh boy!
I had to walk to class in negative 20-degree winds. It was not fun. It was really cold.
Well, speaking of cold, who's gonna be the coolest driver in the next 10 laps? Adam Blocker, Tim Doyle, Jonathan Goke up into third. Andreas Ike, Ray Kingsbury. Any one of these top 5 could win the race, pending anyone's mistakes in this front group.
Well, Goke, if he continues to peg the limiter, I think he's gonna blow an engine.
That's a legitimate concern.
I think he's fine, but I mean, every single caution he's been burning fuel. It makes me wonder how much fuel he took.
Probably too much, is my guess. Maybe filled up the tank. Maybe he's bored, too. That could be it. Oh, Andreas Ike has joined the club there as well. Revving those, and there's a couple more drivers in here. All doing the same. Sounds like go-karts. Riding around a Walmart parking lot. All right, 9 to go will be the restart. Do we make it to the end? Or do we have another yellow?
I would like to think we'll make it to the end. I have a dirty feeling we're going to get another yellow.
One way to word it. 9 laps to go. Blocker, Doyle, Goke, Ike, Kingsbury, Flanagan, Kinsella, Drake, Stouffer, Kingsbury, the other Kingsbury that is. Green flag back in the air. 9 laps to go in the Triptacular Memories 160. Blocker gets a spectacular restart. Flanagan and Kingsbury almost get together.
Yeah, that could be a caution right there. So they're going to keep it separated from each other for now, but Kingsbury still trying to defend off Flanagan and Kinsella as well.
Now, once we get within 5 or 6 laps, the question is, will we get to go back green if we do have a caution? And Flanagan all over Kingsbury, trying to work his way back inside the top 5. Kinsella right on his rear wing.
He wants a top 5. And this is going to be the issue for him, is trying to make a pass without giving up a spot. Here he goes to the inside of Kingsbury.
To make that work, won't be able to do it. And look at Kinsella, sizing him up. 7 to go. No change for the lead. Blocker still rides in second.
A gap of second between him and Tim Doyle. Ray Kingsbury now looking to the inside of Andreas Ike.
Cars scattered everywhere. Whoa, Ike has to lift. Kingsbury slots into 4th. Behind him, almost 3 wide, Jeff Drake and Joshua Chin almost getting together, but back up to the group with Ike, Flanagan, Kinsella, and more. 6 to go. And
Kinsella's been able to get to the inside of Flanagan. Can't get that run off the corner. Flanagan's doing a good job at defending. Here he gets a run now on Andreas Ike. Now this is for 5th.
For a top 5 spot, can the pole sitter work his way back there? Around the inside of the 76, pulls even with them, clears them down into turn 3. Kinsella tries to follow him through.
See if he can clear him off the corner. He does and gets a run on Flanagan. He's going to try to make it 2 for 1 here.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Wheel to wheel down into turn 1. Sends the 53 way wide behind him. 3 wide through 1 and 2. That was Jeff Drake in the middle of it all. But they somehow make it out alive. 3 to go at the front. Blocker, Doyle, go. Your top 3.
And Chin also got around on. Just like it's been swarmed in the later parts of this race. He dropped back from 5th all the way to 8th.
Up front, no changes, 1.6 seconds. Blocker has been in command of this whole race. Here comes Stouffer on the inside of Ike. Ike sliding down the field right now, struggling to get any grip.
Yeah, Ike really struggling. He's got Jeff Drake and Tony Schowen in behind him. If you can try to hold off for 2 more laps, you can finish in the top 10.
2 red cars side by side for 9th place. Schowen, Ike battling for a top 10 spot. Can Drake get there as well? White flag in the air for Adam Blocker. 2 by 2 for 10th. Down into turn 1.
Schowen on the inside. Chance Simpson trying to follow on through, but out of turn 4. Adam Blocker will come across the line for another win this season.
Blocker wins the race. Behind him, the battle. They get together. Drake in the fence.
Oh.
Tumbling as they cross the start-finish line. It's a big wad for 10th. And Drake across. I think he's there. Then you got to cross the start-finish line.
You got to cross, unfortunately, in 14th.
And a chaotic final corner for the battle for 10th through 12th leaves Jeff Drake destroyed. But Adam Blocker, your race winner, a dominant night for the 74.
Yeah, that'll be his 3rd win this season so far in only 8 starts. So 74 of Adam Blocker making it a really good season, especially with all of his other championship contenders struggling, such as Lichtenberg and Bennett. They're back 15th and 21st, so he's going to benefit a lot from this win.
We're going to go back and look at that finish accident in just a second here, but let's roll through your race results momentarily. Here is a look. 160 laps complete, 4 lead changes. 95 of our 160 laps were under the green flag, the other 65 under caution. But drivers that disappointed today, all the Sadie Sim Autosports cars with collisions, not all of their doing, but 3 or 4 of them collected in one accident alone, so just not the night that they were looking for. Robert Hill Jr. in his Indy Elite debut comes on through in 23rd to finish out the race. Bradley Walters finishes dead last in 31st of the drivers that started this event. Again, your top 10, Blocker, Doyle, Goat, Kingsbury, Kinsella, Flanagan, Chin, Stouffer, Shawan, and Chad Simpson. Let's go back and just check out the last lap there for the 92 of Jeff Drake. And again, that just stings to be so close to finishing out the race and have something like that happen. Here is a look at lap 160. He is on the outside, and I'm not really sure how this all starts. We're going to have to look at this in slow motion. That's Chad Simpson on the bottom of the racetrack, Andreas Ike in front of him. I think Ike is going to slide up. Yeah, he does. Slides up, hits the 92, turns him over. And they all get together across the start-finish line, but the worst of it goes to the 14. Here's another look. So the 76 of Andreas Ike is going to just push up the racetrack, understeers, clips the 92, is going to go into the fence right here, and up and over, a wild tumble across the start-finish line. He's going to lose a couple spots right at the end, and Ike comes across the line on his side pod. And Brendan Lichtenberg finishes 15th. But a dramatic end of the race here. Here's one last look at your race results before we jump to break momentarily. Fenny, your thoughts after the MYLAPS Indy Elite Series round number 8, the Triptacular Memories 160. Not a whole lot of, drama up front. Blocker led most of the laps of the race, only 4 lead changes, but lots of drama behind. Yeah, and a lot of cautions too, unfortunately. These guys struggling with loose conditions off the corners for the most part. I actually don't even think any of the cautions came from contact. Maybe 3, a couple of them. At most came from caution. Yeah. So I think a lot of them have been from guys getting loose. And we had that triplet of cautions that were purely on the restarts alone. Yeah, so we'll look through your top 10 one more time before we jump to break. Then we're going to talk to your winner and a couple other drivers, so stick with us. We will be right back.
To get the best result, it's all about ambition, hard work, and doing the right things right. In 1982, 2 Dutch brothers invented an automatic way to time RC races. The system of the company, called AMB-IT, was quickly adopted by pro racing series like NASCAR and IndyCar. Automated timing for mass participation sport events was also invented in the Netherlands by Champion Chip in the early 90s, giving athletes a personal chip time of their performance. In 2008, the 2 companies joined forces, and MYLAPS Sports Timing was born. We never stop innovating, with state-of-the-art timing systems and digital services to enhance the event experience. With our X2 platform, we bring motorsports timing to a whole new level with 2-way communication. Our event app and photo video create the ultimate event experience for athletes and fans with live data and personal content like photos and videos. SpeedHive provides a pro-level racing experience for amateur and club events by analyzing personal data. We capture performances of over 20 million racers and athletes every year and use live data to spark emotions. MYLAPS, Experience progress.
Welcome back live to SimTV here with your third place finisher, one of the Spark VR drivers in the 08, Jonathan Goke. Jonathan, kind of a wild race tonight. A lot of cautions, a lot of issues, a lot of spins. You had a couple yourself, but to come back for third, you got to be pretty happy with how that all finished out.
I am ecstatic to be on the podium for the first time this season, especially having to start from the back. That was interesting. I probably got myself too much TV time from those couple of self spins I got.
It seemed like the restarts were incredibly challenging, really in turn 4 when you're restarting on the corner and on the banking. The shift from first to second gear, do you think you could restart in second and still get enough torque to go, or was that something kind of a necessary evil to go down to first?
I think you have to do first because, I mean, we even had it long just for that reason, but that changeover from first to second just jerked the car around, and it was happening to a lot of people. I mean, honestly, I wasn't the only one that happened to.
It also seemed like tonight, I wasn't really sure what line was better, kind of the middle of the top or the bottom of the racetrack. How did the line change over the course of the race, and did the rubber laying down change that during the night?
I didn't notice. I mean, I tried my best to stick in the bottom. If I was a lane up, I felt that I was pushing more than I'd like, so I just tried to plant it to the bottom without getting that apron on 1 and 2.
All right, Jonathan Goke, Spark VR driver number 08, third tonight. Great finish there, Jonathan. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Move on now to Andrew Kinsella, who finished 5th tonight in the number 14. Kind of a wild race, as I was telling Jonathan a moment ago. You had to dodge a couple things here and there, but to come home on in 5th, the top 5 for you. You happy with that, or wish you could have gotten a little more?
I wish I could have gotten a little bit more, but yeah, it is what it is. There was a moment there with Joe. Joe had hit the wall, and he was just trying to stay out of everyone's way, and I was being aggressive on my weight jacker adjustments and got loose underneath them. And fortunately, we both kept going straight, and I was able to make up a couple of the positions I lost. Feel like I probably could have maybe made the podium on that last restart if I hadn't done that right before the caution. But I mean, other than that, what can you do when Adam gets that lucky? What did he do? Like 100 laps on a tank of fuel when normally you can go 66, 67. So he got lucky on the strategy there, but drove a great race. Obviously, we had a really good car. The whole Power Slide group had a really good car. So it is what it is. I'll take a top 5 out of that.
It seemed like the setup tonight, a lot of drivers were struggling with loose off conditions, especially at turns 2 and 4. How did you adjust your car? Because you were one of the few drivers that really didn't seem to have a whole lot of trouble getting off. So what did you adjust, and what kind of adjustments can you make as a driver to reduce that off corner oversteer there?
I'll tell you, if that's what it looked like from where you guys were, that's not how it felt in the cockpit. You're right on the edge of your weight jacker and your ARBs the whole time around here, because in order to get enough downforce to make this car turn, the balance goes way forward on the car, so it wants to spin out every corner. So you have to walk a very fine line with your ARBs and your weight jackers, and it's like for the first 20 laps, I'm adjusting something at least every 2 laps, if not every lap, just to try and keep up with it and make sure that I'm not going too quick, not going too slow, because if you go too slow, then you have the opposite problem. You can just push right into the wall, as I think a couple of people did today. So it takes a lot of practice, and it's just walking a fine line of adjustments between being way too loose and way too tight. And yeah, it just takes a lot of practice.
All right, Andrew Kinsella, solid 5th place run in the number 14. Thanks for talking. We'll see you later. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Kyle. See you next week.
See ya. Moving on now to Ray Kingsbury, 4th place in his Spark VR car tonight. Ray, it was definitely a challenge for a lot of drivers out there tonight. Some hit on the setup, some were a little bit slippy, slidey out of the corners, but you got to be pretty happy with the 4th place after all the drama tonight.
Oh, we're really happy. We had about 4 setups going into the race about an hour before, and we ended up deciding on this one that was a little more stable than what we had, and it ended up paying off, so it's definitely worthwhile.
Stability versus corner exit speed. We saw a lot of drivers struggling on throttling out of the corners. Did you have to make any adjustments over the course of the race to prevent yourself from slipping and sliding on those restarts?
Yeah, we were starting down at like minus 20 weight jacker, and it was still loose shifting from first to second, which is why I was getting horrible restarts, because I was just playing it safe, and I wasn't really looking forward to losing all my spots. I'd rather lose 1 than lose 20. And as the run went on, we were cranking it in there, the weight jacker. I think I was up to like positive or -8, -7 at the end of it. just to try to keep the balance right.
31st to 4th tonight for Ray Kingsbury. Ray, congratulations on a great finish. Next week at Sebring, that's a very bumpy track. It's going to be a huge challenge for you. Your thoughts heading into another road course next week?
Yeah, Sebring's one of my favorite road courses, actually. I've done enough races there, but I'm starting from the back again because of the couple of the incidents last week. But I don't know, we'll just do the same thing. We'll go out there and survive, and we'll just take whatever points we get and be happy. We're not going to complain. And then there's some ovals after that, so hopefully Flynn and Frank can go out there and put the spark cars towards the front. I know tonight was a good one for us, but we'd like to get a win by the end of the season, another win by the end of the season at least.
All right, Ray Kingsbury, 25 Spark VR car. Top 5 for him tonight. Ray, thanks for talking. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Moving on now to our race winner, Adam Blocker. 3rd win on the season and a dominant one tonight. Through the middle, there was a couple drivers playing some strategy, got you put back in the field, but slow and steady won the race. You climbed your way back forward, and I believe you led, looks like you led 125 of the 160 laps tonight. A dominant run, Adam. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is obviously I had a pretty good setup, so I felt pretty good on pace, qualified second. Got past Flanagan there in the early going, and yeah, I was really looking forward to a sort of a straightforward night with strategy, but it didn't really happen. We got a lot of yellows. Whenever you get a lot of yellows at a short oval, it kind of makes it tricky because you don't want to get caught out on fuel, because if it suddenly goes green, you might have to pit, and then you lose 2 laps. And you don't want to get caught a lap down. And then obviously its track position is just so tough. So at one point, I made the wrong decision and I stayed out, and I was the only one to stay out of the group I was in. And yeah, I was kind of screwed there. I was like with about 60 to go. I was kind of hoping because I couldn't make it on fuel then if it went green. So I was kind of hoping that we got like a little 30 lap run or something, and then a yellow, and then be able to, everybody just pits for tires. But total opposite ended up happening. We got so much yellow that I was like, okay, well, if we keep getting yellow, like if we get 1 or 2 more, I can just make it on fuel. And that happened. So yeah, I kind of got lucky, but I'll definitely take it. So.
They'll take it for sure. 3rd win on the season, Adam Blocker. Good luck next week at Sebring. We'll see you there.
Yeah, see you guys there. Hope you guys enjoyed the race.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Adam. Race winner for the 3rd time this season, Blocker took it. Take a look at our race results one final time before we head out for the night. Finian 160 laps for the Triptacular Memories 160, sponsored by MYLAPS and the Coca-Cola bottling plant of Kokomo, Indiana. Great to have some support from all the great sponsors. 13 cautions on it, a little yellow heavy, but a challenging racetrack and maybe a bit of a points shakeup as well.
Yeah, indeed. And actually, with this race, Blocker's going to put himself with a full race ahead of Henry Bennett, who's 2nd in the points. So this is a really good chance for Blocker to lock out this championship. He can continue this run.
Yeah, Henry Bennett really didn't have a great race. Ended up 21st, 9 laps down after the collision on the front straightaway with Andrew Wood. So he'll have to rebound next week at Sebring International Raceway, an over 3-mile road course in Sebring, Florida. That's going to be a fun one. All the twists, turns, bumps, and curbs. We're going to see you next week at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night. We'll see you later. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.